Well, I'm so glad that I could be here with you guys today. We've heard some great people speak on just what I call a very important topic. What I wanted to share with you today is a lot about taking all the things that we've already learned and then translating them from your advertising model, or whether it's search or email, as we heard earlier, is important. Taking those mediums and translating them to conversions using using your website and the different methods that you have. So today we're going to start by overviewing the digital landscape. I want to just give you a high level. I know several people have talked about it today. Also talk a little bit about how do customers find you online, and why do we need to focus our energy on digital marketing. And then just 7 steps on how to have digital marketing success. And then we'll touch on mobile, which has been touched on a little bit today as well. And then we'll do a summary. So what's really important to understand is the state of where the internet is at today. And I've got a question for you. Does anybody have any idea what these things have in common? Yeah, well, they're animals. If I throw that in there, does it help at all? They're all an endangered species. So I know even, we had mentioned today about using the yellow pages and how important it is to make sure that you can be found. And I loved your reference about just, I get the yellow pages and I throw it out in the trash. That's exactly what I do. And I fear for this company, but they're doing a great job at translating their business to online as well. So what's really important is that we need to position our businesses in a way that people can find us. Right now, as far as the amount of time people are engaging on the internet, we have anywhere from 20 to 25% of people's time are engaged in searching or reading content, and then a percentage of social media. So there's all kinds of avenues for people to get engaged on the internet, and it's really important to make sure that we're in those spots that we can be found. So another quick question. What do you think the #1 activity is online? Watching videos, buying products, search, email, or social media? Let's have a show of hands. Who thinks it's watching videos? Buying products? Search? Email? Social media? You're mostly right, because it is sending email and search is the #1 activity that people engage with online. I know that we were talking with the Google about how much time people spend searching. It's a brief time, but the activity that people are engaging with is primarily to find information or find products or find things that are relevant to them. Buying products is also high up there in like 72, 71%, 72? Something right up there, 71%. So people are definitely engaging online. So how do people find you? Well, y'all know the movie Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. Unfortunately, online, it's not the case. You have to be intentional. The most important thing you can do is be intentional on making sure that you are being found. And that's actually where we have to take advantage of advertising. Also, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, and then providing fresh and relevant content. If people are engaging by reading and learning things online, we want to provide that content as well. So I know we've talked a bit about search already, but a couple things with the statistic being 92% of people are using the internet for search. Are your customers finding you? There's some opportunities that you guys can take to make sure that you're being found as well. Lee talked about optimization and paid search. Google has great tools, and I know he mentioned them, but the Google Places, if you're a local brick and mortar business, is important to make sure you put your information onto Google Places to make sure people are seeing that information. Google Plus, the social networking tool, it's also very important. It helps aggregate your business information and who you are. And then local plus Google is tied to that Google Places. And I know that's a lot to remember. And at the end, I'm going to show you, I'll give you my email address. And if you guys want a little one sheet of some do-it-yourself tips, you could send me an email, and I'll forward you out something at the end of the week, just so that you guys have something that you can have all those website addresses, so you don't need to worry about trying to track those down. Another important tool, and I know it was mentioned over here as a question, but is website optimization, making sure that your website is designed and structured in a way that Google can read the information that you have. So that's, I'm not really going to go into a lot of detail, but it's really important to consider. It's important to consider how your content's being placed. The use of Flash was a question somebody had. Definitely, there's some new techniques out there that can help maximize the search engine and be able to make sure that your website can be read in all the content. Social media is very important, and Cammie's going to speak on that a little bit later. Paid search, we talked about that. It's critical as well. The combination statistic of how people are finding you is important to be using all of these techniques. Links from other websites, that's actually important as well. When you have your websites being linked from social media, from blogs, from other industries that support your, that partner with you, those links actually help as well in your rankings. And then the text content, making sure that you have quality text content that integrates the messaging of your business or your products. So you want to make sure that you're using all those keywords that we've talked about before that are relevant to your business inside your copy, inside the text that goes into your website and your Facebook posts and different things that you're going to be doing. You can also tag images and video content. We mentioned in the YouTube that the video, you can mark it with certain words. That's important to make sure that all of those connections are all being put into your presence and anywhere you're online that you're using all the right words to present your business. The other part is content marketing. So it's really focusing on the content that's going into your website and that's outside in the other properties online. You really want to become the voice of your industry, and it's very easy today to become an expert in your field by communicating, writing, making sure that all of your messaging of your brand or your products is getting out there, and even by publishing your own blog. I know PRI has a blog, and John and some supporting team members write to that. They're keeping that content fresh and relevant to the industry. You can also partner with other people. You can ask to submit content to other people's blogs and leverage the people that are also voices in your industry and get more content out there talking about your product or service or your brand. Posting videos on YouTube, great way to get people to find you as well. I know that Lee mentioned about creating videos and tagging them around your industry and getting them on YouTube. Third largest search engine. It has value to your company and your brand. Participating in social media by posting events, photos, videos. Ask questions, take polls, get people engaged. These are ways that we can continue to get the message out of who we are and what we're trying to do. So in the paid advertising, we can do several different types. We can have display advertising, and Google's one of the biggest in display advertising. But there's also other opportunities for display. You can purchase media buys with different websites that are targeted to who you want to reach. We can obviously do the search, SEM display, or SEM search. Social networking has its own type of advertising. You can buy ads on Facebook and LinkedIn, different social channel. And then mobile advertising is huge. We've talked, every one of us, I think, has talked a little bit about mobile and the importance of it. So we definitely need to consider how we want to advertise in that channel as well. So really, I want to go over the what and whys of digital marketing. It's important that we look at what is digital marketing. Really, it's leveraging all the channels that we use to communicate, including the banner ads, the email marketing, paid and organic search, social media, video, and your website, and using all of those things in conjunction with one another, okay? We want to make sure that none of our advertising is like an island. Everything leads to more information or ultimately a conversion. And I'll talk a little bit more about what really a conversion is in a minute. So why should we use digital marketing? We've talked about it today. It's going to be repeated, but it's about the reach. It's about where the people are. Over 500 million people in the US are on the internet, 2.5 billion worldwide. We need to be able to find a way to get our message to other people in different areas. The other great thing about the digital area is you can precisely target your market. 15 years ago, if somebody would have said, where can, I want to advertise to the 30-block radius in downtown LA, and I only want these areas, and how can I advertise to just those specific people? Well, without doing a direct mail to zip codes, which would be very expensive, you'd have to find some other way. Right now, the internet has provided us the opportunity where everybody, all your information, scary as it might seem, is out there. So I can tailor my advertisement to somebody searching in this radius, and it becomes really effective because it's very targeted to who you want to speak to. Even with the opportunities you have with digital advertising, or display advertising, we can even target. I've searched a website on performance racing, and tomorrow I'm going to get offered a digital ad for performance racing on another site I'm at because they know I'm interested here. So they're retargeting basically the people that in your searches. So they know more about you than most people should. But it's scary, yeah. It is. It's getting smaller every day. There's also a lot of ability to control your budget. Okay, you can really fine-tune your budget. I know with using Google SEM, you can put caps on how much you'll spend every day. You can say, I only want this much per month. I only want to do X, Y, and Z. And that's, to me, the fantastic opportunity we have to stay within our budget. You can optimize your traffic and results. And really what that means is digital is one of those mediums that can be quickly changed. So if it's not working, do something different. It's very simple to make changes and to adjust your advertising based on the results. And there's a quick measure and return of ROI. Your investment is quickly able to be calculated because you'll know what you're intending somebody to do, and if they're taking the action, then great, we're successful and we can keep going. If it's not working that way, make a change. And that's what's wonderful about digital. You put something in print, and it's released, 30 days later. You can't change it. It's out there in the universe, and you can't really measure the return unless it's just increased sales. So quick, easy way to measure your success. Manage your digital universe. Really focusing on the website being the central part of your universe, okay? We have search ads, display, email, social media. We have a lot of different things that come into the mix. But really what I want to show you today is how you draw all of those tools, those advertising resources, through your website to ultimately have a conversion. So we'll start with the 7 steps. First one, you need to establish your marketing objectives. I find so many of our customers and clients, they come to us and say, I want to sell more product. Okay, well, that's great. Is that your only objective? Okay, well, then we start talking, and really it's like, hey, I want people to know who I am. I want to know where I am. I want to know I want to get them connected. So there's a lot of opportunities to, when you're marketing, to do several different things. So let's start with the objective. And really, if I was working with anybody as a client, I'd sit down and understand your business goals, and then we'd determine an objective of what we're trying to achieve. So is your objective to drive sales? Is it to generate leads? Depending on the business you're in, you might just be lead gen. Are we trying to increase our brand awareness? Build customer relationships. Okay, depending on those objectives, then we're going to choose the best advertising model, because not every advertising medium is going to achieve all those goals. So let's say we're trying to drive product sales. And these are just examples. These aren't a definitive list, but banner ads would be an opportunity to drive product sales. Paid search ads, and then good search engine optimization would be important to drive product sales as well. Let's say we're trying to do lead generation. Well, content marketing. Let's start being the voice of our business or our industry out there. Let's start getting blogs and different things talking about who we are and become experts in the field. And social media. Social media has the opportunity to generate leads as well. Again, search engine optimization and white papers, creating white papers on what you guys, what's important and what's the most important trend in the market right now, and then making those available. Say we're just trying to increase the brand awareness. Well, social media is a great tool for that, and there's advertising, as we said, in social media. And one of the things that I like to encourage people to do is when you're using social media for advertising, because you can buy Facebook ads, consider the reason you're buying that Facebook ad is to maybe drive people to connect with you on Facebook, so then ultimately you have the voice to talk to them later. Not necessarily trying to position your advertising around a product to be driven and purchased at that point. So we want to stay active in the medium in which we're choosing to advertise. And then another opportunity is to do press releases. I'm sure most of you have looked at that as an option before, press releases on a new product and to get the message out that way. Customer relationship, social media again, email, and then offering webinars, instructional information, free information to the people that are interested in your product or service. So all of those are opportunities that you can do. And you need to identify what's your goal first, and then how are you going to get there. Another important aspect is to define your audience. So when we are looking at defining an audience, we're looking at the people who are the people that are going to be looking for our products or services, and we identify who they are, and then we create personas about those people that identify. If it's a male between the ages of 24 and 34, we're going to market in a different way than we might if it's a female that's between the ages of 40 and 60. Depending on who your audience is, we want to make sure we're tailoring that market. So identifying who you're speaking to in each particular form of advertising. You may find that you have all of these personas are appropriate for you, but each marketing or advertising campaign needs to be created with an individual in mind so that you're actually speaking to that. And I'm going to show you a couple examples in a few minutes of how that messaging can change between advertising of who you're trying to reach. So we also need to consider the desired action. Okay? It's important that we are very, very intentional about where we're going to take them. We've got a advertising, on a website that's a display advertising, and then where are we gonna take them, and what action are we looking to put them through? So what we do is create action paths for each of the personas that says, say it's the pit crew member who's trying to find a part, who wants to order that part, and then he needs to be able to check out, or these are very, very basic samples, but the concept is really just to make sure that we're seeing that we identify how people are going to move through your advertising to your website to conversion of whatever that looks like. So, and really this is just, it's a funnel process. You start here and you're working your way down to ultimately finding the conversion. A conversion can be any, I have to see, no. Wondered if I had the slide. A conversion can be anything, like we said, product sales. If you're trying to do brand awareness, you might want to get them to just sign up for an email. You may want to, or your email newsletter. Conversion could be, I want a Facebook fan or like something on my Facebook. So conversions can be anything that you really want the user to take. It could just be getting connected to them. It could be actually, I want them to purchase the product. So when we're looking at a conversion path, we want to make sure that those goals are achieved as quickly and easily as possible. So when you're looking to create your advertisement, there's a few things that are really, really important that we need to take into consideration. One of the things is that you need a compelling message. You need a really, something that stands out there. We need to make sure we have clear company branding. Make sure that we know when we're looking at an advertising, and I'm using a banner advertising as an example, and I'll show a few more, but the imagery should be engaging, something that calls their attention. Banner advertising in and around websites have had the tendency to become a little bit, people get banner blindness, they don't look at them. So you need something that catches their eyes if you're going to engage in that way. And then a clear call to action, making sure that the person that's looking at this advertising knows exactly what they're going to do with it. I'm going to give you an example of IKEA, just because I chose random examples because I didn't really want to pull a bunch of racing ones in case you all were sitting here and I said something bad about it. But if you can see on IKEA's, there's no question who the brand is, okay? It's very clear. We've got a messaging right there that says, take this is $10,000 makeover, and enter today. It's very simple, it's very clean, and really I wanted to show this because I thought they did a good job at putting the brand at the forefront of it. The big enter now action just seemed very simple and clean, so it doesn't have to be too complicated. And then I ran across this ad, and I know it's in Florida, but I struggled to figure out what really was the messaging. And I read this several times, and I thought, I wanted to use this as an example to just say, this is busy. I'm not seeing what I'm supposed to do with this. And though it looks nice to lay around the beach, I'm not really compelled to see what I'm supposed to do. So these are things that we can think about in making our advertising really simple, clear calls to action to get people to the next step. Because ultimately, that's your goal. You want to get them to the next step. This is just an example of some imagery. It's very clear what you're getting with this. Sushi, okay. So it's bright, it's clear. To me, it represents some good imagery of showing somebody what they're going to get. And if you're into sushi, you might be compelled by that. This is another one. These are two different types of ads, same company. One's this free, download a free audiobook today, learn more. Clear call to action, you know what you're going to get. You know as soon as you click more, you're supposed to get this free download. The next one's pretty much a brand awareness. It's not necessarily trying to get somebody to take an action. It's trying to show that there is this brand and that they want that brand information to stay with them. Now, the same ads are clickable, but there's no clear call to action. It's more of this is what I'm going to do. So there's definitely an opportunity to get your brand out there as well. But I think, I would guess, and I don't have statistics, but the one with the download free audiobook probably got the more conversions. This is an email. This is how messaging is important to have clear messaging in an email. And just happens to be from Crate and Barrel, and I got it a couple weeks ago, but it was like 20% off beer glasses, really clean, really, really easy to understand what it is, and I get to shop the sale, and even though it got cut off, ship it for $4.95 and these great pictures. So I thought this was a really good, clear messaging, and see how this can be used in email as well, is how you lay out this information to make sure you get compelling information communicated really quickly. The next thing I want to talk about is landing pages. Landing pages are pages within your website that are specific to your advertising or any kind of social media messaging that you're doing. It's basically where a destination where somebody will land. If I can use this as an example, this is a landing page. If I have an airplane pilot come down the runway and I say, okay, here we go, and I give him 3 opportunities, I think there's going to be a problem. So I think we need to look at, when we're creating pages, that we have one clear destination point, that it's not, when we get to the page, the website page, that it's very clear to understand what that person's supposed to do now to complete the conversion. I'm going to show you a couple examples. So this is, it's a travel industry advertisement that's on a travel blog, and it's really great. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm going to learn more about going to Turkey, and it's going to be $1,419. So I go to the landing page. This is where I end up. And again, you know, because I couldn't get the whole web page in there. Trust me, there's nothing on this web page that says that there's a deal or a special for $14.19. Okay, there's nothing. So here I have this great page, great information about Turkey, which could be very interesting, and I might start reading it, but I'm going to wonder what happened to the special I was just looking for at $14.19. And I'm going to think, okay, well, how do I get that special? Then I'm going to start searching, and it's going to be a little bit problematic for me. So this is an example of maybe right now this landing page could have been done better had it been that image that said, you know, this is the special for $14.19, and look at more information about Turkey, could have guided me there, or book this special. Those are actions where they could have done a better job at just communicating the messaging of the banner in this landing page. This is another one example. Besides the color scheme of this one, it doesn't like come out at me. It's very, you know, it just hides in the background. Again, this is one that's like stay and save 25%. So I'm excited. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go skiing. And I come to this beautiful website, which there's nothing wrong with this website when you first look at it. It has this great snow or skiing picture, and it's book now. Problem here, never another mention of 25% off. Don't know how to get it. Don't know how to go through the booking channel. There's no connection here between the advertising and the place, the destination that I came to on the website. So at this point, I've seen nothing about that and realized that I don't really have any clue how to get that sale. So what we can make sure we're doing is when we're creating any kind of advertising, again, whether it be a social media post, whether it be a banner advertising, whether it's SEM, is make sure that the destination you bring them to is communicating and carrying on that message. It's the most critical thing I can say is make sure it carries on. So back to the beer glasses and the great email. And I showed both of them for a point. This is the subject line of the email, which was great. That's what got me to click onto the advertisement that was for beer glasses. So I click it on, come to that beautiful email. Great. And I said, this is a good email. What's the problem then? This is where I came. So this is not a joke. This was my email. I was looking for the beer glasses, and I was really disappointed when I got here. And I scrolled down. Again, you can't see the whole thing, but not a single beer glass on the page. Do you know how much money Crate & Barrel spends on their advertising? This simple thing, without question, caused them a sale. Because now I couldn't find the beer glasses, didn't know where I was going to, and I gave up. Because you really don't have a lot of time for people to go searching through your website to now go find the special that you paid money to advertise or give them that information. You need to make sure we're carrying it through. I truly believe this was a mistake on Crate & Barrel's part in the sense that normally they don't do this. So I lucked out that I caught the bad mistake, but it was an oops that they should have probably caught before they sent it out, which testing would have helped. So they probably did, didn't they? It was disappointing because I like beer glasses. Okay, so then we have, I just want to show you this example of, it's actually one of our clients that we just did brand awareness. They just want brand. They're a oil manufacturer, ENOS. I don't know if anybody knows them. They're Japanese for high performance vehicles, so maybe. But basically this was a landing page created just to promote awareness. They're not selling their product necessarily, but you can find the products, you can find a dealer. So there's no real special, but they're running promotional campaigns just to get people to become aware of them. So just real simple instructional information, very different from their website, to let you know that. They're very different for the website. So. And this is another example of how this banner message can carry over the messaging. It's for a hotel, and it's like, see how they're carrying over this 4 for free or whatever, 4 for free, and they're really communicating and solidifying that this is what you're going to get when you start engaging with them. So I wanted to show you some what I thought were best practice as well. This is one example of what I want to show you is taking your banner advertising and your messaging and tailoring it to your audience, your persona. And after determining your persona, so I would say that based on this image right here, they're trying to attract the male, probably, a family man wanting to protect his family. And LifeLock is just, it's an online security system. So I'm not promoting that, but I'm saying that I think they did a great job on taking this messaging, converting it to a family picture in the corner, the protection just got better, clear action paths to take you to the next level, which is seeing the pricing and viewing the plans. And I want to point out, even in this particular example, this landing page eliminated all of the traditional top navigation that the main website has. Okay, so if you go to LifeLock's website, you'll see main navigation that directs people all over the place, and they can view everything. But this particular one really limited their ability to do anything else but to see the plans. It's very intentional, the reason they're doing it. They're guiding people through the process. So sometimes that's a good strategy. Sometimes it's okay to leave it, and you'll see in my next example, they did. This one, they're attracting, I don't know the exact age group, but people that are concerned about their identity and theft, and it's a whole different perspective. It's individual. It's not about protecting somebody else. It's about protecting really myself. So this is the advertisement, and this is the landing page. Now in this one, they left the navigation at the top, but it's very specific about identity theft and the ID theft, and it's connecting with clear calls to action. So, I mean, I'm hoping you're seeing the connection to the value of making sure that every bit of your advertising that you're out there doing has deliberate intentions to bring them through to the one appropriate landing page, to then the action step of converting to either a sign up for an email, or more information, or purchase this product. This is another site. This is an example of a camera company, one of our clients, that really the focus here wasn't just about any kind of digital advertising. It wasn't about how you're going to spend your money. It's about focusing the main focal point of your actual website to draw them specifically to what what you want them to engage in on your site. So it's really showing how we have learn more about these cameras and focusing in on, now we have a selector. Here's the information we can give you. So I know everybody's budget is limited on where they can go with different things, and you have to choose very carefully how you're going to use advertising dollars. I think at the very, very minimum, start using your own web property as really good advertising, featuring the products or featuring the things in a predominant way, but making sure that when you take them to the landing page, sometimes it makes sense to give them a page between the shopping cart that has the little icon picture of the product. Maybe you need to communicate more. Maybe there's more of a selling point there. So you have to look at each one of your items that you're trying to sell and make sure that you are positioning it well to get people to process through. Step 6 is absolutely critical, and it's analyzing the results. As we said, there's no better medium of advertising, in my opinion, to get quick, clear results. You can have results on a advertising campaign within hours or days of after launching it. And make sure that your website has got at least Google Analytics to track, conversions. You can also set up unique tracking on the URLs that you're using out there. You can also track those custom pages. If you're creating custom landing pages for your digital advertising, make sure that they're tracked. Make sure that they have good connection from whatever advertising medium you're choosing. You can add promotions and discount codes and make sure you keep track of those. And then you can keep count on how your email list is growing if that's the conversion you're looking for. So the types of conversions that we'd be looking for in this tracking could be obviously sales. We're looking for increase in sales. Also, you can track how much traffic you're getting to the website. Email signups, again, downloads. If people are downloading coupons, promotions, white papers, things like that. How much more social activity you're getting in your social media and even in webinar views. It's important to also keep track of those individual pages to make sure that if you aren't seeing the activity that you want, that's when you can make a shift. And that is in step 7, test and optimize. Testing and optimizing is really about looking at the numbers, finding out how many people are taking the action, find out where they funnel through. A/B testing is a great way to do this, and really what that is creating 2 variations of the same campaign, 2 changes in an email, having 2 or 3 pages that have about the same messaging but a different look. The image is more pronounced, this. Changing things up and running them side by side to find out which one has success. We recently created an email campaign for one of our clients, and we ran 2 series of A/B testing because the client says to me, "No, we like this way." And we said, "Okay, well, we'll create it this way, but can we just create one our way?" And they're like, "All right, go ahead." But we were glad because at the end we had tested them. Ours came out with a 30% higher open rate and a X now click-through rate. It was amazing. The client's like, "Okay, understood." And so by being able to measure those results, the client was able to see, okay, this does make sense. There's a reason we want to go with this format because our customers respond to it. So even with email, change it up. If you're not getting the open rate and the action and the click-through rate that you want to see in your email marketing, make a change. It could be slight, and then you can monitor the results. So change the imagery, the calls to action, and then make sure that that everything you're looking for is being achieved. And if it's not, redo it. If it's not, redo it. And with digital, it's easier to do that. You can make slight changes and test the next one. So just make sure you're paying attention to it and adjusting it. These are some, even I think Google offers this graph. They do a great job with A/B testing now. It's a service in their analytics that's relatively new. I don't know, Lee knows, but I think it's within the last year. It's this A/B testing where you can actually load in different web pages into your Google, and it will rotate out different displays within your site. It's something you can look into. It's well worth playing around with. So just to recap them, we want to make sure we're determining our marketing goals and the objectives, defining the audience, and make sure you decide on your desired action, and create your advertising, and then the landing page. I think making sure that you have a good landing page within your website. And actually, on a side note to that, I want to add, even if you like go, oh, my website's 5 years old, I don't like it, it's horrible, that doesn't have to stop you from creating a similarly branded web page that's out, that's not necessarily within the structure of your website as a landing page. You have a lot of freedom. You want to keep brand consistency. Never, ever, ever lose the brand consistency. So you want similarities, but you are able to create that standalone page that really presents your advertising. So don't get sidetracked with, I need a new website before I can do any of this first. You have opportunities to create those pages outside that. Also, analyze the results, test, optimize, and that's your 7 steps. Next thing I'm just going to go into, not spend a lot of time with, is your mobile. How important is mobile? We've heard several people talk, but typical user spends about 2 hours a day on their phone. And as Brian? Thank you. As Brian said, I have the same statistics, so I think somebody's reading the same book. But we really, by the end of 2014, 2015, mobile and tablet internet searches will exceed computer screens. That is projected. We are so close to that being the case now, it's not even funny. But we're seeing growth. We're seeing at least 200% to 300% growth in mobile usage on people's websites right now, month over month, really. It's incredible. So people are doing a lot of different things with their tablets and their mobile phones. They're searching. If you're on a local business, having your information mobilely accessible and in the search things are critical because people are searching from their phone, finding somebody, making that call, and going to a location. That's how they're interacting now with businesses, brick and mortars. If you're not necessarily local, just make sure your contact information is clearly presented. Make sure that your website can at least accommodate a mobile interface with the important things that are on your website that people would engage with in a mobile environment. So this is an example. There's 3 types of important things that we want to address when mobile. First thing is make sure, without question, like go home tomorrow, make sure your site is mobile friendly. The idea is that it can be viewed on a tablet or a handheld device, a smartphone. That's the most critical part. And the question is, will Flash show up on mobile? No, not on Apple. It'll show up on Androids, but it won't show up on Apple. And there are some coding, some alternate codes that can be used to create the same look and functionality without using Flash. So I'd recommend probably making that decision whether you want to move away from something that's not fully mobile compatible. The other thing is a mobile optimized website. And this is an example of an optimized site. And I'm sure if you search on the phone, you'll see something. This happens to be Catalina Chamber. It's an island right by where I live. And their main website, big, bold, and all that, their mobile site, actually, you can see, was tailored specifically to the things based on analytics that people search for on their mobile device. So it's not just, oh, what things should I put on this? It's do the analytics to find out what people are actually using or trying to use on their mobile device, then design your mobile device or your mobile website to make sure that those important aspects of your website are being translated properly. And then the other important thing is make sure you put code on your website that actually directs people to your mobile site in the event that they're using a mobile phone. It exists. You can actually, lots of people can help you with that, but it's important that since the technology exists, that anytime you access that website from a mobile device, it redirects to the mobile website so that they're not in between. The other opportunity is apps. You hear a lot of things about apps. And internet or downloadable apps to your phone or your tablet are great and wonderful, but they're very specific to companies and businesses that have a need to use it. I would say, depending on the type of business that you have, that would have to be determined. I mean, I'm sure eBay has a great use for an app because people shop all the time. It's beautiful, but not all businesses need an app. And so really having somebody help you define your business objective to see if an app really is important or if a mobile website will satisfy your need. Because when you build an app, you have to build multiple apps for each platform as opposed to one mobile website that will work on all phones, okay? And it gets expensive with apps. So really, the statistics are that 94% of the smartphone users search for local information. We talked 70% called business after searching, and then 66% visit in person. This is all on mobile. And then 90% of the users usually acted within 24 hours. So the immediacy of the information is important. I think that we cannot get around the fact that mobile is critical and needs to be addressed and is something that you should do soon. So really, the key takeaways today for me to want to share with you is that your website, in my opinion, is the most important digital resource because it's the hub, it's the central universe of all your advertising, making sure everything's coming through effectively and converting. And be intentional about bringing people to the website. Use advertising, use social media, use anything you can to get people to become aware of who you are. And make sure that it's an actual action that you take in order to drive business. Using the search engine and to be found, and then set conversion goals. Do you want to sell products? Do you want to get more people to know who you are? Do you want email signups? Do you want relationship with people to talk with them? Is that social media? Make sure you understand what your goals or objectives are when you're out there advertising. And last one, mobile does matter. So make sure that you're considering in your 2013, 2014 plans some approach to dealing with the fact that you will need some mobile presence soon. So a couple of the ways to get there. There's definitely a few ideas, and I mentioned this at the beginning. I put together a one sheet that you can use has website URLs, a few do-it-yourself things, nothing major, but it will give you some ideas on things that you can do to ensure, especially with local business and things that you can enhance your web presence. I'll give you my email address in a minute. You're welcome to email me. I'll send it over to you. And if it helps, great. I think you'll find a few useful tools there. The online tools that Google has are fantastic. Webmaster Tools is something that can help with your website optimization and things like that Lee mentioned. And then obviously you can engage a partner to do all or some of your digital strategy. I would say even with some of our clients, if they can't afford to have a website built right now, at least look at having some partners to help with a strategy to help you map out what your web presence would look like in the next 2 years and where you should be engaging energy. So, any questions? No questions?
One question.
Okay, I'll take one.
And I apologize, I didn't catch the opening portion of that. I got held up.
Oh, it's okay.
But do you recommend, obviously, Google Analytics are very popular. Do you recommend anything, and I'm familiar with that, but is there anything else out there that you recommend as well?
There's several analytics tools. I think what we've found is Google has one of the best, easy to use, easy to understand tool sets out there, and it's free. Free is always good. You can go into more in-depth tools. There's also tools that you can use that can tell you exactly who's come to your site from what businesses. It depends on what your business is and how much of that information you really need. So depending on what your needs are, I'd have to say it would determine that answer. So Google Analytics is great for, I would say, 80 to 85% of businesses as far as what they're trying to keep statistics of. So, okay, anything else? Okay, Good, thanks.